everybody out there in YouTube land. Well, I got some good news for some of you and maybe some bad news for some of you. Just have to hang in to find out what that's all about. But, you know, a lot of people are trying to get on board and get over here at Magnum. I'll kind of tell you some insight. Well, there's James Moon walking up here. See, as soon as I go live on a video, James Moon comes walking up. Time to get in the truck. Bang. Get down, baby. Mr. James Moon, the mountain man in person. Don't say nothing that might get you in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I actually got a live video going here.
Oh, Lord. I better hide the body better.
Huh?
Oh, wait.
You want to hang out with me for about 5 minutes while I shoot this video?
Go ahead.
It's going to be pretty informal stuff.
Cool.
But what I was going to actually talk about was the hiring process over here at Magnum. Did you know that they've changed the standards for what they're hiring over here?
I know that you'd mentioned they're still hiring new people.
Yeah.
New CDL holders.
They will still they will still hire a brand new CDL holder. So yeah, we'll just get that out there right off the bat. You can get a fresh CDL holder on here at Magnum. That's possible. But I'll just go over the qualifications right quick. You know, before we get into this, I got them all here. Tony, our recruiter, goes, Walt, you need to go over these with your people. So I'm doing a Tony-do list is what I'm doing here.
Not a honey-do list?
Not a honey-do list. It's a Tony-do. Tony totally put it up to it. I'm sure y'all remember, James. How long ago was it you got off my truck?
I was in October.
October?
Yeah, like 14th of October.
Yeah, so you've had a while out here running solo now.
Yeah.
You're a veteran.
And still screwing it up.
Hey, welcome to my world. I went to make a delivery this morning and couldn't get it in the door.
Oh, God. I've got trouble all the time.
Have you ever been down to Seacole?
No.
Over in Plymouth?
No.
I've got it in a door there before. It's a real tight yard. Some of our drivers refuse to go in there with a sleeper truck. But if you slide your tandems all the way to the rear, get it right up in front of the door, and jackknife the truck and pivot it in, you can get it in, and you'll have a half a tractor length between you and the fence. I mean, it's tight, right? Well, I go in there this morning, there's 4 foot of snow drift away from the curb, so I lost 4 foot. Man, I jacked with it for 45 minutes trying to get in the door. I finally got it in the door, but I was at just a little bit of an angle. I go inside and tell him, I said, hey, I got it in door 7. And the warehouseman goes, yeah, but you got it in an angle. I can't get the deck plate in it, so you're going to have to straighten it up. I said, dude, I worked on it for 45 minutes to get the way I got it. I said, I'm in a big tandem axle sleeper with a 53. I said, I can't get it in the door any better than that. And, you know, just like they always say, you know, you go and tell a warehouseman, I can't get it in the door. Well, hell, I've had 2 or 3 trucks already in here. Yeah, but they weren't dual axle sleeper. You know, they were probably day cabs with 40-foot van trailers.
Right.
You know? So anyway, I still had my paperwork, so I just got on the phone and said, hey, I can't get in the door down here. You're going to have one of the LTL guys put it in the door. And they go, yep, no problem. Bring it back to the yard. So I brought it back up here and dropped it off. That's the first time ever in my career.
Just couldn't get it in.
Just couldn't get it in.
Hey, gonna happen, right?
We could make a lot of real nasty comments about that, but we'll be good.
Oh, it looked like something fell off the roof.
You still dating that young thing?
Well, I'm seeing one, yeah. I've got a couple women.
Couple?
Couple.
Spreading the wealth around, are you?
One that bitches that I'm gone all the time.
one just wants your money?
Yeah.
Here, let's get down to business here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here at Magnum, like last month, coming into January, Magnum's a good-sized company, actually a really big company, but our OTR fleet is very small. We call it the small private fleet, Cadillac fleet. You know, we're absolutely spoiled rotten for drivers. I mean, you hear drivers here, when you hear a driver complain to something, have you heard some of the complaints? You're like, are you kidding me, dude? Anyway, it's just silly. But we only had 10 slots available in the company. We had 6 slots available for LTL. We had 4 slots available for OTR. So we only had 10 slots available. We had 40 applicants for those 10 slots. So they actually went through them and picked out the 10 best, you know, the very 10 best. So if you weren't on the top of the list. But there's a couple things a guy can do to ensure that he's top of the list. One of the things is the people that go automatically to the top list are those that are referred by another driver. If they've got another driver sponsoring them and referring them into the company, they look at them first. They still have to meet the qualifications, but as long as they meet the minimum qualifications, they go to the top of the list. Another thing is, even if a guy, you know, if a guy's a little short on something here, we can make an exception. Like I had, remember Ross?
Yeah.
Ross was only 22 years old.
Right.
Well, one of the requirements is to be 23. He was only 22. But he had almost a year with Schneider already.
Yeah.
So they waived his age and hired him anyway. I had a driver that missed one of the lines here on the qualifications, but he lived in Chicago. Man, they will jump up and kiss your butt to hire you from Chicago right now. Because, you know, that's the fleet that we're trying to grow is those Chicago drivers.
Yeah.
Those guys kind of got a special seat because they're going to build that Chicago fleet and within 2 years build a terminal there. And then all the OTR drivers that are out of Chicago are going to get first dibs on the home LTL and regional jobs coming out of that terminal. Be a pretty sweet deal if you lived in Chicago.
Yeah, right.
Personally, I think it's too many monkeys trying to live on the same piece of dirt, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see what else is there. We probably covered. Oh, one more thing. Whenever you make application to Magnum, your application is only good for 30 days. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So if you're not hired within 30 days of your application, you have to resubmit. But actually, how I feel about that, you submit your application. If you don't get hired, don't think it's the end of the world. Just keep submitting your application.
Yeah.
Because if a guy submits his application every month, you know, for 4 or 5 months or 6 months or whatever, trying to get on over here, they remember that name.
Yeah.
You know, we only got 2 guys that do recruiting. Tony sees all of the applications. And if he sees that name month in, month out, then this guy really wants a job here. So somebody that really wants to work for Magnum will do. And as far as drivers, as me and you go, what we want the company to hire is we want to hire drivers that are good at their job, professional, don't tear up our equipment. Have you had to go pick up a trailer that was unserviceable yet?
I've had a couple of trailers that have been wrinkled in the rear driver's side. And
that's an automatic victim right there.
Supposed to be. The trailer I just dropped has that problem. I actually had a trailer that I had red tagged that I brought in, brand new 2000 or 2000.
Brand new trailer.
Brand new trailer that had been cracked, and so we red tagged that.
The butt was
But
cracked, or she was wrinkled all the way to the tandems?
It was wrinkled, but it was cracked in the rear on the driver's side.
Really?
About a foot from the very end. It was cracked.
Really?
Yeah.
Somebody must have slammed the
Oh yeah.
crap out.
Well, I have that problem with my truck.
What
it has
year-
auto reverse, but when it goes to go, it really wants to go,
What year
and then
is
it cools off.
your truck?
2018.
Didn't the 2018 have the urge to move, like mine does?
It does, but it wants to go when it first goes to take off.
Really?
It really wants to take off.
Now, when you're
I have
backing
to
it, the only
Sit there and constantly-
pedal you use is the brake, isn't it?
But when I apply the brake a little bit too much and I come to a stop, then it wants to take off
And it
really
wants to
fast
lurch.
again, and then it slows back down to 2 to 3 miles an hour.
I know.
So I've slammed into docks because of it.
Auto victim. You know, when first time I ever got an automatic, I asked him, you know, because I'd always driven manuals, and I talked more crap about automatics than anybody. I always refused them, and I finally borrowed one when my manual was in the shop, and I got out to Pennsylvania with it, and I called Tony, and I said, "Hey, what's the story on this truck?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I'm going to keep this automatic." He goes, no, you can't keep it. He goes, that truck's assigned to somebody else. And I said, really, what's the deal on it? He goes, well, let me check on it. I'll call you back. So he calls me back and he goes, yeah, this driver is out on medical leave and we don't know if it's going to be able to come back or not or what. I said, so this truck's in limbo. And he goes, yeah, but I can't assign it to you yet. And I said, well, you do whatever you have to do. Just know if you give me a load that goes to Minneapolis or to Fargo, I'll just refuse the load and I'm staying out and I'm keeping this truck. That's how I got my first automatic. I stole it. I hijacked it. Stole me a truck. I've been an automatic ever since. I love them. You know, for an old guy that started off in a cab over, you know.
Oh God.
You know.
I was trying to explain the cab overs to my Jersey girl.
You got a girlfriend in Jersey too?
Well, that's where she's from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you might have been placing these girlfriends all over the United States or something.
It's easier just to keep them at home.
Yeah, if you keep them all apart like that, they generally don't know about each other.
Oh, I tell them.
You tell them
they all know about each other.
you're such a stud, man.
Yeah.
Such a man.
She's 24, and my other girlfriend's 40, almost 46. She did the same month as I am. And I'm working on 2 others.
You didn't hear any of that, okay? Just saying. All right. James, the man with the plan. You know I don't do that. I'm a good little boy. I don't play none of that. Okay, let's get back to this. We probably ruined the whole video with our chit chat. But here's the qualifications for what it takes to get on with Magnum. Probably I'll take my glasses off so I can read this. Must have commercial driver's license, which is a Class A, and sustained for the last 12 months with no suspension. Must have a hazmat endorsement or able to obtain a hazmat endorsement. We hired you without it. You got it right afterwards. Minimum age of 23 and be able to drive at night. I think that's silly. You know, we had a guy that we hired and he refused to drive after the sun went down. Had to let him go, man.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I don't like driving at night, but it's one thing you kind of have to do sometimes.
I don't mind driving at night as long as it's dry. If it's raining real heavy, I don't like driving at night because I can't see the markers on the road.
Yeah, real tough to see.
Yeah. So if I would rather run on the snow and ice all day than have to run at night in the rain. Well, I will do both though. Not that I like it. Must have 1 year of experience or 100,000 verifiable miles. I was afraid that they were going to go to 2 years. Because when I got hired at Magnum, you had to have 2 years experience or they wouldn't talk to you. So, now you can still come in with a fresh brand new CDL and we train you and you start out as a Magnum driver or 1 year experience. Must have tractor trailer driving experience within the last 12 months or a recent, see right there it is, or a recent driving school graduate within the last 6 months. Must have a current DOT physical, long form required, or pass the DOT physical examination on the first day of orientation and meet the physical demands set forth in the written job description.
And that's, if you can't do that.
If you can't pull a reefer and open up the doors and bump the dock, you're pretty sad, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Pass Magnum's behind the wheel road test and complete the 3-day orientation in Fargo.
It's kind of hard not to pass that.
Right. If you can start the truck and drive it around the block and not tear the trailer off the back end of it, you're probably going to pass that. We should probably be more serious about this than we are. No serious violations in the past 12 months. Serious violations include but are not limited to speeding over 15 miles an hour over the limit, reckless driving, following too closely, improper lane change in a commercial vehicle, texting or on a cell phone while driving. That should be a given.
Yeah.
That is one of the, it's hard to get fired at Magnum. Once you're in, right? You got to work on getting fired. There's two things that'll get you fired in a heartbeat. One, get a DUI in a commercial vehicle.
Right.
You're gone. No questions asked about it. If you get stopped, you're underneath the influence of alcohol, you're gone. If you don't lose your license, you're going to lose your job with Magnum anyway. And the second thing is, if you get a ticket for holding a handheld device in your hand while you're driving, you're gone. Can't gripe about it. Now, and I think I don't think there's any excuse in that, because I have my phone mounted on my dash.
$20, less than $20 for a mount.
Right.
Less than $20 for earphones. Granted, you can only have one in, but I mean, you're talking like $10, $30 total to get all set up for hands-free, and so you're legal.
And they even cover that in orientation. You're allowed to make phone calls, videos, or anything as long as it's a one-button operation. As long as you can reach up and touch one button, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. No major preventable accident within the past 12 months. Major preventable is determined by speed, amount of damage, and what happened on a case-by-case, and no more than one in the last 3 years. I've never had an accident in a commercial vehicle.
Right.
I actually have had 0 moving violations in a commercial vehicle ever in my career. So I agree with that. No more than 3 moving violations in the past 3 years, and no more than 6 in a lifetime. Well, one of the guys, I actually liked the guy. I considered him a friend of mine. And he had got in with a bunch of guys who was running outlaw and where it was socially acceptable to do all that, and he got a bunch of tickets. And then he decided he wanted to go back to being a company driver, so he wanted to get a good seat, so he called me up, and we put in his application. We couldn't hire him.
Couldn't do it.
Been running outlaw too much. God love him. I mean, I still think the world of him, but that's the way it goes, man. Must have a stable, verified work history. They need addresses, phone numbers, and dates of employment for the last 10 years. Must meet all DOT requirements. Must not have any DUI or DWI convictions. No positive drug screens or any other drug alcohol events, including felonies or convictions, in the past 5 years, and no more than 2 in a lifetime. In other words, you can have a DUI and a marijuana possession as long as it's not in 5 years. That's what that means right there. I think that's pretty lenient.
That actually is, considering most places one or the other, you just won't get hired, period.
Exactly. Must be able to abide by our felony and misdemeanor restrictions. Felonies, none in less than 5 years, including bounce checks. Misdemeanors will be considered on a case-by-case basis depending on offense. Said Tony wrote a little note on the bottom of this. Need to communicate clearly. Did I communicate clearly?
I don't think you've ever communicated.
I scream a lot.
You would think that would be a given, but some people just don't. They don't. My older brother was trying to come back, and the only reason
He was trying to come back here to Magnum?
Yeah. The only reason they wouldn't rehire him is because while he was here, he had 3 failures to deliver on time.
Really?
Yeah. Which lets me know that for whatever reason he didn't pick up the phone knowing that he was going to be late and say something.
Oh, really? He just showed up late and said...
just showed up late and then just went with it. And you can't do that. You have to communicate. They need to know if you're going to be late. There's reasons they need to know if you're going to be late.
And you can't avoid that either.
No.
Especially running up in the Great White North.
I've been late so many freaking times since I started on my own. I can't believe it. And it's always been because I've been held too long here or there.
Held in the door.
And either from the shipper or from the receiver. One of the two or both. And one time it was both.
Normally, if I'm going to be late on a delivery, I normally know the day before.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be late.
You sure do.
And I pick up and I call my driver manager and I say, hey, Mandy, there ain't no way I can get there. It's physically impossible for me to be there when my appointment time is. And I've never been reprimanded or anybody to say anything to me.
That reminds me, I gotta go talk to
Kylie?
Kylie.
What kind of business you got with
I have
Kylie?
no clue. I know I'm not in trouble.
Kylie just wanted to see your presence.
Yeah.
But before you take off, I'll let you go. I was talking to John Morgan, and when we had you on the phone the other day, I asked you, I said, what would you tell Patrick, words of wisdom of how to survive 30 days? And I remember what you said because I thought it was funny as hell. He goes, go ahead, say what you said.
Oh, I actually
You
can't
don't remember? Yeah, what you said was, I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't say nothing, I just kept my mouth shut. Because I'm like all over a trainee in training. I'm like by the numbers kind of guy. And I know I'm not an easy trainer. At least that's what I'm told.
I'm an easy kind of guy, so I found you to be very easy.
Well, yeah, but as far as trainees go, you're one of those dream trainees. Not everybody takes it to a duck to water like you did.
Right.
Some guys have difficulties. You acted like you'd actually. I had to wonder if you were a plant. Maybe you'd driven a truck for a few years. They just want to check out and make sure the Wally's doing his job right. But talking to John Morgan, and John's supposed to be here later today too, but he was saying that he'll hear it for the rest of his life, and he still hears it every time he's going to back in. He hears me hollering at him, get under it, get under it, get under the dadgum truck, get under it. You get under it so you can see down both sides of your trailer before you back in that door. Yeah, so he says, man, I hear it all the time, get under it, get under it. And the thing that I hear from my trainer, even to this day, get over there 6 inches from the mayonnaise. 6 inches from the mayonnaise. One time we were out on the flat and he goes, you got 150 miles here, straight as an arrow. There's not a turn for 150 miles. He goes, if you get more than 6 inches away from that mayonnaise, I'm going to knock crap out of you. You understand? Yeah, so I'm driving down the road, sweating bullets.
You only told me that one time.
Yeah, at first.
You told me you can do it holding a really good line going down the middle. Now I want you over here 6 inches off this line. All right. Moved it over. That was it.
There's, always stay 6 inches from the line on your right and stay in the right lane. And only time you do that is when you're passing or when you get in a major city like Chicago, once you sit in the middle of the lane and run on the high side of the turn.
Right.
Those kind of things. Whenever you're in Chicago, if you're going to crowd a line, I'd rather you crowd the line on the left than the one on your right.
Yep.
Yeah, with all that kind of good stuff. Really, you don't know what Kylie's wants with you?
Well, no, I take that back. Amanda said that she needs me to sign something.
Normally, just saying, being as that I've been here for a few years and kind of know how they play the game, because they're not allowed to say anything to you, but I'm not in their little corporate group, so I'll just say every time that I've ever been told, hey Walt, we need you to stop by the office because I need you to sign papers, drug screen, had to go pee in a bottle.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's probably what you're going to have to do, man.
Damn it. I knew I shouldn't have had that last night.
Did you study for that test?
I tried, but I think I failed.
All right. Brother, it's good seeing you.
Oh, you too?
You going to hang around this evening?
Yeah, I'll be here till tomorrow morning, I guess.
Well, we're going to be here till tomorrow morning. Also, you want to go over to...
I was thinking about it.
You want to go get a steak over at Outback?
I might just do that.
Well, when you get done with all your business and stuff, and let's just plan on Outback about 6 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Are you in?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. See you
Holler
in a
at me,
while.
dude. Well, guys, that was the end of the video, and I did what Tony asked me to do. I went over the hiring requirements. Really is absolutely the dream job to have. If we do get spoiled rotten, they pay us extremely well. They get us home. They take good care of us. It's kind of a family environment. We call each other by the first names. Even the people that are in the corporate office. My driver manager and several of the regional managers and the dispatchers and anyway, we're not only work related, but we're on each other's Facebook page. We know what each other's kids are doing, what's going on in our life all the time. There's a lot of places that says we treat you just like family. Well, they really do here, spoil us rotten. Anyway, I told Tony, our recruiter, that I'd go over that information, and pretty much all I got to say. I'm here in Minneapolis for the night. Gonna grab a load out of here tomorrow sometime. I'm actually here because my ELD is down, and I've been running on paper for 8 days, and they got a new one coming in on a truck tonight, 6 o'clock in the morning. They're gonna put them in the truck for me, and I'll be back legal schneagle and get on the road. Other than that, y'all have an absolutely blessed day. God bless each and every one of you. Remember, you too can change the world. All you gotta do is be nice to each other. Bye-bye.